Hello students, welcome back to my channel. Let us continue learning database concepts. Today's is the last topic, which is data mining. So we have discussed about data warehouse in the last session, and we have studied that data warehouse is nothing but it is a collection of different kinds of heterogeneous data. Basically, different data collected in different databases will be stored in the data warehouse, and then it is analyzed. So when we were talking about analyzing, we also spoke about data mining, isn't it? So today we will discuss a little bit about data mining also. So let us see what is data mining. A data mining is a process of using computers and automation to search large sets of data for patterns and trends. Okay, so this is important. Large set of data is searched for patterns and trends, turning into findings into business insights and predictions. Now, what is the meaning of that? Now, we know that every organization generates tons of data in nowadays, okay? So all this data, people realize that if we are just keeping a backup and not using it, then it is of no use. So we can analyze this data and find certain findings, and using that findings, we can whatever the next steps we are going to take in our organization can be affected by the historical data. So that is where our data warehouse and data mining comes in picture. So this huge amount of data which gets generated is stored in our data warehouse. So this data warehouse has all the required important steps which we studied in the previous session that is performed on the data. And once we have the required data, that cleaned and processed data will be applied these different data mining methods in order to generate patterns and trends. These patterns and trends will be given to the organization back. Depending on that, the organization will take their next steps. Okay. Now, what could be these patterns? For example, very basic example, if I have to give you. So usually when we go to a supermarket, we always see that the bread stall will be next to all the butter or your jam, everything will be placed next to each other. Why do you think so? So because there is a pattern which people found there saying whoever is buying the bread, okay, would have also bought a butter or a jam. So in that case, if we keep these two aisles together, so whenever he is buying this, even if he has forgotten that he has to buy butter or jam, when he is looking at that, he will realize, and of course he will buy it. Now, how they would have got it? Of course, all the billing data what any supermarket have, that would have been collected together, and they would have found a pattern. Okay, this is just a simple idea I'm giving. Similarly, if you usually see the toys aisle will always be next to the baby products, isn't it? Parents will come to buy the baby products. Of course, they will see a toy aisle and they will end up buying it, toys or stationery or books. So usually you will see such kind of a pattern in a supermarket. Similarly, in organization also different kinds. For example, banking, healthcare, and everywhere they will use such kind of a historical data in order to analyze and to find that how can they make their business better, right? Now, this data mining analysis trends to work from the data up, and the best techniques are those developed with an orientation towards the large volumes of data, making use of as much of the collected data as possible to arrive at a reliable conclusions and decisions. Okay, so this is what we were talking about. Basically, all the collected data, whatever is there in the data warehouse, will be applied certain kind of a techniques, and then certain decisions and conclusions are made, right? So you can see a diagram over here where machines are working on some products. This you can think of it as a data getting cleaned and everything analyzed, and finally we will get a product. This is nothing but after applying the data mining application. So this is just a pictorial representation. Okay, so a data mining is a process used by companies to turn raw data into useful information. Right? Okay. Now, next, the analysis process. How does an analysis process start? So it starts with set of data, uses a methodology to develop an optimal representation of the structure. Now, this methodology, there are different algorithms and everything, which we will not be learning. We just trying to understand here what is a data mining, that's all. But there are different methodology. When I say there are different algorithms which we will be using. Okay, so these methodologies are applied in order to develop an optimal, the best representation to the structure of the data during which time knowledge is acquired. Okay, once knowledge has been acquired, this can be extended to larger sets of data, working on the assumption that the larger data set has a structure similar to the sample data. So basically what we are doing is we are taking a smaller sample, applying certain methods and getting certain results. On the basis of this result, we are applying it into the entire data and trying to get a similar structure. Okay. Again, this is analogous to a mining operation where a large amount of low-grade materials are sieved together in order to find something value. So it is not sure that we will get a pattern and everything. Basically, data mining is nothing, but we are trying to find if there is any. Okay. Some of the data mining softwares are SPAS, SAS, Think Analytics, GSAT, etc. So this you should know. These are some of the data mining softwares which will be used in our data mining methodologies when we are applying the data mining in a data warehouse. So let us see the phases of a data mining. What are the different phases? The phases starts with the raw data and finish with an extracted knowledge, which was acquired as a result of the following stages. So we now know that even data warehouse, it had a different phases, out of which one phase was data mining. Now in data mining itself, we have several phases. Okay. First is selection. What is selection? Selection or segmentation of the data according to some criteria. This is important, okay? Or for example, all those people who want a car, in this way, subset of the data can be determined. So certain subset, certain criteria we are going to apply. In the supermarket example, what we spoke about, I will categorize it all the persons who bought bread. So that will become a criteria. Similarly, certain criteria will be used in order to, for selection of the data. Once I select the data, I will do the pre-processing of the data. So this is a data cleaning stage where certain information is removed which deemed unnecessary and may slow down the queries. For example, if a person has brought a bread, apart from that, whatever he bought, I'm going to exclude it except if he has bought a butter or a jam. Only those details I'm going to keep it. Other rest of the details, he would have bought n number of other things from the supermarket. I'm going to remove it. Okay, that is unnecessary for me. That is how I'm going to pre-process it. The data is recognized to ensure a consistent format, as there is a possibility of inconsistent formats because the data is now drawn from several sources. Example, gender may be recorded as F and M also 1 or 0. So this we have spoken about already. We said that heterogeneous data we are collecting. So we are going to convert it into a proper format so that all the data are in a same format. With that, it will be helpful for me to apply a certain algorithm or any methodology I'm applying. So conversion. So this is your pre-processing. After that, once again, we have transformation. The data is not merely transformed, but transformed. Okay, not transferred, but transformed. Example, demographic overlay is commonly used in the market research. The data is made usable and navigable. Okay, so I'm going to transform the data. So if at all I had a list of people who bought a bread, now maybe I am making a chart. Okay, I will make a bar chart and this is data transformed. After that, I will do the data mining, next stage. This stage is concerned with the extraction of patterns from the data. So if at all I have this, probably this is Monday, this is Tuesday, this is Wednesday. I am understanding that Tuesdays are people buy more bread. So this is certain data extraction of a pattern I'm doing. A pattern can be defined as given a set of facts, language, and some measures of certainty. A pattern is a statement S in L that describes relationship among the subset of S of the F with the certainly C such that S is simpler in some sense. Okay, so try to understand this. So I'm saying if I'm considering F as a fact, language as L, and some measure of certainty C, a pattern is a statement S in L. Okay, a pattern is a statement in a language L that describes the relationship among the subsets of the facts. Okay, with the certainty C such that statement S is simpler in some sense that enumeration of all the facts. Okay. So what exactly we are trying to say is I'm going to try to retrieve a simple statement out of all the facts. Okay. Depending on certainty, saying certainly they are going to buy the bread. And the simple statement here I'm going to come across is Tuesdays, the people purchase more breads than compared to other days. Okay, this is how I'm going to mine the data, analyze my data and get certain statement. Last is interpretation and evaluation. The patterns identified by the system are interpreted into knowledge, which can be used to support the human decision making. Now that I got a pattern saying Tuesdays people buy more bread, what am I going to do? Probably I will keep a sale on that day or some decisions I'm going to make. Okay, so that it will support the human decision making, so that I have a good sale on those days, or maybe I can do that Tuesdays I will not keep sale. Instead, in order to increase the sale on other days, I might keep sale on other days. That is also fine. So basically, it depends on the organization. I have retrieved certain pattern from the data which I have collected. Now it is left to the organization that what kind of a decision they're going to make in order to make the better profit. Okay. So example, prediction and classification tasks, summarization and content of the database, or explaining observed phenomena. Now these are the different interpretation and evaluation which we can use when it comes to the data mining. Okay. So this is about your data mining. Once again, if you see the steps, first we will define the problem. Okay, defining the problem is nothing but what exactly the organization is wanting from this data which is there in the repository. Identify the required data. That is whatever the data, depending on certain criteria, I will require data. Then that data is pre-processed, and then I'm going to model the data. I'm going to find certain pattern in that, train and test, find out exactly is it correct. I'm going to first work on a sample, then I'm going to work on a bigger data and train and test the data and verify and deploy. Verify the findings or whatever the data analyzed will be verified, and then deploy. Deploy is nothing but we're giving it back to the organization for their usage. Okay, they can be using it in various ways. That is none of our concern. We are going to data mine and verify the facts and the statements, and then we are going to deploy to the people whoever has given their data, and then it is left to them to take a further decision. So this is about your data mining. With that, we have come to the end of this chapter 13, students. So it took me very long, almost a year to complete this chapter, but I'm just want to give you an assurance that I'll try to complete this particular second PUC syllabus as soon as possible, and then we will start with BCA syllabus, right? So till then, keep learning. If there is any kind of any subject you want me to start next, do let me know in the comments, right? Till then, keep learning, students. Thank you for watching.